Hey there, everybody. It's your girl, Barbie J, here with a recap and review of All the Queen's Men, Season 3, Episode 6, Never Scared. And the synopsis for this one is Big D makes a desperate bid to convince Tommy he's not shady. Detective Davis brings interrogation tactics to the bedroom. Oh, yes, she did, but it was the living room. And Midnight takes Babyface to task for his treatment of Rayshawn. Not really. It wasn't really that. But anyway, let's start with this recap review. But before I get started, if you have not subscribed as of yet to my new channel, Hey Barbie J, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button. You have to go over to that channel first, and I'll put the link in my description box or even in the comment section as well. Okay, so please do that for me. I ask that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. And most of you know what I've been going through with YouTube. So please help a sister out and help her rebuild this new channel so that she can start back getting remonetized. Thank you all. Anyway, this episode begins with Big D showing up in the basement with Tommy and Casanova, who is saying, help me, help me. Tommy must have known why he's snooping around. So do I, since he told Dime he was going to be sitting by the bar waiting for her. So anyway, Tommy says he's going to have to call Madam, and Big D doesn't want him to do that. And he tries to leave, saying he won't say anything because he didn't see anything. And Tommy told him, it don't work that way, dude, right? Then Casanova says, help me. And Big D kicks him, and Tommy's like, why the f you do that? And Big D said, yo, because he got me mixed up in some stuff that I don't want to be mixed up in or something like that, he said. But he starts saying that he's just a thug nigga from New Orleans and all this stuff. And Tommy says, since Madam put you on the main stage, you got to get jumped in. So he tells Big D to kill Casanova. He doesn't want to at first, saying he don't even know what the dude did. And then he says, you know what? He has his own gun because they were like, do it. He said, I got my own gun. And he's saying, when he shoots a person with his gun, they bleed on the inside. That way you don't have a lot of blood to clean up. Tommy's like, what the you talking about? And Tommy believing him with this mess. I was like, Tommy, I thought you were smart. Anyway, so he tells Tommy, this nigga looks like gator food from the mother effing swamps. And Tommy says, well, Louisiana is 7 hours from here. And D says, but Savannah ain't. Anyway, he says, I got this, and shoots Casanova like 7 or 8 times, pop, 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 in the chest, and then asks Tommy for tape to wrap up Casanova's body in that plastic before he bleeds out. Then he tells Tommy to get his car. He's like, and check if the coast is clear. Since when does Tommy take orders from anyone other than Madam? He's telling Tommy, move now. And Tommy does it. I said, what the MF is going on here? Anyway, so now Rayshawn in trouble at Chip's house. I think that's what they said that other dancer's name is Chip. They in his apartment and they all are smoking weed, and Rayshawn mentioned he needs to get his money up, and Chip said, what happened to Miss Tandy? And Rayshawn put his head down, and then Trouble said, tell him. He said they effed him over, and so did Babyface. So they took all of his money and put a gun on him. And Rayshawn said he's going to get even with them. Y'all all think I'm dumb because I'm from the country, but I am going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all. Watch. So they asked Trouble what's going on with her because they see she's been in a like shitty mood. And she snaps at Rayshawn and says she's good. She said, I told you I'm good. And then she gets mad and she leaves without giving him a ride home. He said, but I need the ride with. She said, let that nigga give you a ride home. So then Miss Tandy texts Rayshawn saying they miss him. And Chip told him to block her number. Rayshawn said, no, not until I get even. Then we got Blue. Now, Blue, Joey, and Madam, they get to her house, and he tells her, he didn't like that she got out of, this is Joey now, he didn't like that she got out of that car, and Madam told him she lives for that ish, and to just do your job, and he said, you need to let me do my job. So she says she'll try to listen, and Blue tells Madam she wants to go home, and Madam tells her again, once she knows what the concierge is up to, then they can move. Then Blue cut her off and said, I hear you. And Madam said, I hope you do. But why does Blue think she's so bad that she can beat these guys by herself? Why is she so hard-headed? Shoot, she almost got beat by them white hicks in the damn, what's that, the garage or the trash dump or something like that. She better watch herself. Everybody trying to be all tough on here, like they could do things on their own and they can't. Anyway, then Madam said, what the F is wrong with my house anyway? And Blue said, nothing, Madam. And she said, all right, then relax. So then Blue told Joey that he has no idea what he's getting himself into. And Joey replied, I think I do. And Blue said, yeah, okay. And he said, you and Tommy give me a hard time, but we all want the same thing, which is to keep Madam safe. And Blue replied, yeah, but we want you out of here. So Joey said, he said some things about Tommy, and Tommy walked in time to hear it. And Joey walked away saying that he'll be on his post. Then Tommy asked Blue what she knows about Baby D. And she said, his name is Big D. He said, Baby D, little D, small D. Do you think I care? It's like Tommy be cracking me up. Then he asked where she got him from and if she checked him out. So Blue answered all his questions as best she could. Then she asked him why. And Tommy told her what happened and what he had did, what he had him do. And Blue said, it's going to make Madam mad. And Tommy said, I know. And he said, that nigga is straight gangster. Well, that's what he made you believe, honey. Well, he good at what he doing. But it wasn't that. Anyway, now we see Big D and Dime just now leaving Club Eden. And I'm wondering, where is Casanova's body at this point? She gets to her car and 2 of her tires are slashed. And she's sure that Aunt did that. But I feel it was Big D who did it so he could have a reason to drive her home or something like that. So Dime wants to go check the cameras to see who did it. And Big D, he talked her out of it and told her to just wait until the morning and that he would get the tires fixed for her. So she's getting mad and snaps at him, asking why he's so thirsty. And he said, I'm only thirsty for you. And so he said, he would drive her home. And she said that she doesn't know him that well enough for him to come to her house. First of all, he said, drive you home. Nobody said he had to come up in there. Okay, did anybody, y'all put it down in the comment section, did he say that he was going to come up in there? She ain't got to let him up in her apartment or her house. So stop being stupid, Dime. Anyway, but she tells him she can't let him come to her house, but she can go to his. Don't you think you safer in your house than in his house? Because it's on his playing field. That made absolutely no sense to me. I swear it didn't. Anyway, we see Amp staggering over to his apartment and Fuego was there waiting for him. And he cusses out Fuego and calls him a nagging biatch. And he said, Fuego said, I thought we were friends. And Amp's like, nah, nigga, we're not friends. We're just good. So he asked him if he wants some DICK. Because, nigga, I never seen you with any biatch. And Fuego said, Amp, stop. I just wanted to check on you. And he said, I can just leave. Then he said that if he ever want to talk, he told Amp, if he ever wanted to talk, just know that I'm here. And Amp replied, if you want to get effed, let me know when you grow a pussy and fat ass titties, he told him. I said, damn, why you had to be so grotesque, Amp? Why you had to be like that? So then Amp checks something, Fuego walks away and then Amp checks something on his phone and decided not to go home and he left. So now back at Madam's house, she's watching the news and hears something about the Atlanta mayoral race. And she decides to call her father because remember, Miss Tandy husband is running for that. So the nurse answers and gives the phone to Mr. DeVille. She said the governor's daughter hasn't shown up yet, but one of her regulars' husband is running for mayor. So her father said that is good. Then Madam told her dad, what did she say? That she wanted to come to see him, but he said to come every Thursday like she's been doing and not to make any changes. And that made a whole lot of sense. Then we see Doc tearing Detective Davis' coochie cat up on that living room couch. He's like, wham, 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 wham. He wham it out. And she was loving it. She's like, yes, Big Papa. I love it when you call me Big Papa. No, she didn't say that, but that would have been funny. But I'll answer, she's been up there, doctor. No, let me stop. But I'll be honest, I think she's trying to gain Doc's trust so that he can take Madam down. Remember that ranking officer told her she needs to go back to the way she was when she was trying to climb the ladder. And he told her to bring Madam down by any means necessary, basically. So once they are finished, having sex, there's some small talk about how good it was. And Davis is drinking. And Doc tells her to slow down with that. And Davis tells him she knows how to handle her liquor. And then he tells her, that she needs to do some more for him, because usually if it's good, he'll go right to sleep. And she was giggling and stuff. And she replied, okay, she said, now, if I do that, you got to do something for me. And Doc said, what's that? And she said, give me your boss. I'm like, and then she had to know to say, I hate biatches like her who get away with everything. So Doc lets her know in his own way that ish is not going to happen. So the small talk ends with Doc saying he can go on for hours and hours and hours effing, and Davis giggles and tells him, why don't you show me what you got? And that's what he did. And they go on to round 2 of effing. Ding! There you go. Bing, 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 bing. Round 2 has started and we're off. Let me stop. So now we see Face and Night having a damn orgy with 4 females. And when they leave, the females, Babyface tries to cheat Midnight out of his cut. And he lets Face know that his name ain't Rayshawn, and that he ain't going to pull that bull on him that he does them amateurs. Babyface is a mess. That's his fault that he killed Miss Patty. He had nothing to do with Miss Patty, because Miss Patty wanted him to herself. Anyway, Face tells him to chill and that he's going to cut him in. And Night tells him that half of that money is his. You talking about cut me in? Half of that money is mine. And Midnight told Babyface that he's wrong because Miss Tandy and her husband effed Rayshawn up and he don't even care. And Face said he don't. It ain't his fault that Rayshawn didn't take his advice. But Face, what about the part that you played after that when he got the car and money? I mean, what does that have to do with the part that you played in this? You took his money and his car, and remember that Face is at Knight's house because he killed Miss Patty, and he's sort of laying low until all is clear. So then Face asks Knight what he thinks about that Amp and Big D issue, and Midnight said, it ain't none of my business, So now at this point, he's thinking that Babyface is jealous, which Midnight, he denies to Midnight. And then Midnight tells Face, then you worry about you and let them do them. And so he's like, whatever, nigga, So now we see Madam comes out of her bedroom for some wine, and Joey is with her, and Tommy is standing there, and he starts talking to Madam and says, well, he, talking about Joey, doesn't love you like I do. Because he was talking about protecting him. And she said, I got Joey here to protect him. He said, but he don't love you like I do. And Joey said, see, that love you have for her is clouding your judgment. That's the problem. And they start bickering back and forth until Madam tells them, please, we are not doing this ish tonight, okay? So then Tommy tells Madam what happened with Big D. And Madam is like, what? What? And as he told the details, Madam's like, oh, ish. But she didn't like that he was walking around the club snooping. Anyways, after he finished the story details, she questioned Tommy if he was sure that Big D got rid of the body. And he told her that he put a tracker on Big D's car. And now it's sitting outside of a hotel. So I'm assuming that Big D must have rode all the way to that spot where in Savannah or whatever, and then came back. But how could he do that without Dime in the car with him? Or did he do it with Dime in the car with him? It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all how he got away with that if there's a tracker on his car. Tommy would have timed it and all of that. Anyway, then Tommy asked Madam if she would like some loving tonight. And she said no, but she might allow him to eat her coochie cat in the morning. I said, really, really? Come on now. So now Blue gets a phone call from Fernando, and they play this back and forth game about his wife. That sort of getting on my freaking nerves, I'll tell you. Then he lets Blue know that he is in her home waiting for her. She asked him why he was so uptight. Did he get effed in prison? And he got quiet, and she laughed. Ha 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 ha, saying, you did. So that's the problem. And he snapped and told Blue to shut the F up because he said, so you're just, because you're making things bad for yourself or something like that. And then he hung up on her. And then it ends with dumbass Dime in the bed with Big D kissing, and she's acting like she not sure she wants it. And he puts two fingers down between her legs, and he tells her, comes up wet, and he tells her that her coochie is ready as he licks those two fingers. I said, okay. And he tells her he knows that she wants it. So after a little persuasion, all that giggling she was doing, she lets him go down on her, and she giggled through that. But he only went down for like a minute, and then she asked if he has a condom, because that's the only way it's going to happen. So he looks in the drawer. It was empty. So he says he has one in the car. And when he gets down to the car, he opened the hatch and removes the plastic from Casanova's face. I said, oh, snap. Casanova's still alive. Oh, snap. And he's freaking, Casanova's complaining about not being able to breathe. You trying to kill me? And he said, I put a little hole in there for you, to provide some air, but it wasn't big enough for him, he was saying. Anyway, Big D told him that he can't leave now because he's got Dime up in the bed. Then he added that if Casanova gets up out of that car, he's going to blow both of their covers, which means that means Big D is a police officer too, or detective too, but that means Blue didn't do her damn job. She didn't vet that man. She didn't check him thoroughly. She didn't do something right, because she's the one who picked him to come over to Madam's Club. So this one is going to be on Blue, and I feel sorry for her. Anyway, what happens now? So Casanova is saying he can't stay there all night. And Big D said, listen, I saved your life. I got you. And Casanova said, I gotta piss. And Big D, I'm about to say Biddy D or something like that. But Big D said, nigga, you wearing plastic. Just piss. I fell out. He was like, just piss. What you waiting on? Anyway, so he finally closes the hatchback. And when he turns around, Amp steps away from him, coming towards him. And he said, who the F were you talking to in there, nigga? And that's how it ended. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. It was interesting. Y'all let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Subscribe, like, the thumbs up button, comment, and share. Sharing is caring. I need y'all to help my channel grow. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying see you in the next video. Peace.